I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes I am, yes I am, yes I am.
Hello everybody, Jacob Kurtenbach with themanservices.com. So today we're going to hang this pretty mirror over this nice dresser here. And what you'll want to have is pencil, tape, a rag, some hangers, and a small level and a big level. And then just if we need, I brought in here a hammer and putty knife, and that makes it so if you need to get a nail out, you would put it through like so, and then you could pull your nail out without putting a hole in your wall. So there's that. We'll just put this over here off to the side. Alright, so these are the picture hangers that we have. If our cameraman would come on up close here. These have 3 holes for 3 nails, and they're meant for 100 pounds. I just like to go a little bit heavy. You don't want anybody getting hurt. This picture mirror is extremely heavy. So we have the other level that's down here. We need to take some measurements to figure out how this is going to sit on the wall. So we're going to go ahead and pick this up, spin it around. And now, a couple things that we want to figure out first here is the overall length of the mirror. So we go ahead and go, it's 53 3/4 here. And if we don't want to use our brains too much, we just fold the tape measure, 53 3/4. So that puts us, if you look down there, you can see we're at 26 3/4, or 26 7/8. So now we're going to go ahead and pull to the center, 26 7/8 right there. And then we have it written down, so that's the center. And now we want to check these hooks here and measure off to the side to make sure that they're both in the same spot, which they are. They're both at 3/4 of an inch. And now we're going to go ahead and measure in between. So this is going to be 47 and 5/8. 47 5/8. We're going to measure this one more time, just because. 47 5/8. No, that's 47 3/4. So now we're going to fold our tape in half again. 47 3/4 is going to be 23 7/8. So we'll write that down, 23 7/8. So now we know once we find our center, we pull 23 7/8 that way and 23 7/8 to the right, and that's where we will be putting our hooks in order to hang our mirror. And now we want to go ahead and measure from the bottom, and we want to make sure that these are even. So this one is 31 3/4, and this one over here is 31 3/4. So we can write that down, 31 3/4. Okay, so now that we have all these measurements here, now we can start placing stuff on the wall. I measured from the bottom because we know where the bottom of the mirror is going to go. You can also measure from the top if you know where the top of the mirror is going to go. Now, you would just measure down and have your top line and measure down to where this is. You can also, if you're trying to figure out like where to hang the mirror to the center, you're going to need to find out where the center measurement is and then measure up from that to where the hooks will be hanging from. So we're going to check this. We want the mirror, it's about 2.5 inches off this dresser. So we'll go ahead and pull these pieces of tape off. They're just as a guide. We don't necessarily need them anymore now that we have our one measurement that we need. So we'll put a piece of tape right here. That's about center. And we go 2.5 inches, which is right here, just about. We don't need it perfect, but there's 2.5 high. And now we're gonna get the length here. And we're at 64, so that's 32. So 32 to center, a little bit off here. All right. So now we have our cross there. So now we want a piece of tape because we're going to be going up 31 3/4. Now, I'm going to go ahead and climb on up here. So we pull our piece of tape, put it on there, straight as possible. And then we'll measure up 31 3/4. 31. 31 3/4. Right there. Okay. And then now we'll put some wings on here. Now, cameraman, will you please hand me the level? Probably should have gotten a little bit shorter level here. But so first what you're going to want to do is you can get back a little bit. So you need to measure center. So we have our center and we're going to put our level on here and we only need one mark. You don't need to do the whole wall. But there's center. Okay. Now we have our other mark here, which is our 31 3/4. So we have our cross again. Now I need the cameraman's hand here. So let me get it level, and then you can grab that side. All right, you got that? Thank you. Okay. Here we go. Set that back down on the ground, please. Thank you. So we started with our mark at the bottom, 2.5 inches up. We went to, I believe it was 31 3/4 to our line in which our hook is gonna be hanging on in order to hold the mirror. Right here, we got lucky. The hooks are even on the back of the mirror. If they're a little off at this point, this is when you need to measure. Like if it's an 1/8 inch off, you just measure up 1/8 of an inch on this side, but you still need to get your center line in order to make sure that the mirror is going to be sitting on a center line. So, or picture or whatever you're hanging that has 2 hooks, because this is the key here. And now we're going to go ahead and measure from the center. We want to do 23 7/8. So let's see, 23 7/8. 23 7/8. So here's another little cross. We'll go 23 7/8 from this side. And now, to make sure that your measurements are right, we can double check that we're at 47 3/4. So I'll go from there over to here. And there we are, 47 3/4. So if you get in close here, you can see how I have my line going across, and then I put a straight down line, and then I circle it. So then I know that's exactly where I want my hook. Now, we will go ahead and what I like to do best is I'll stick a nail right into that spot like so. And then I can come on over here and I can set this directly on top there and then start my nail. And I just use a this is my hammer that I use all the time, tape measure hammer. So Now you notice I actually hit a stud, so it's a good thing we brought the hammer. If cameraman could please hand me a hammer. So most of the time you don't hit a stud. And it goes in real easy. There we go. We'll leave it a little loose because we want to be able to pull the tape out from behind it. So we can just go ahead and pull our tape out from behind it. Like so. Okay. Let's see. I'll use the hammer and go right on here. Alright, now that's one solid hook there. So we're going to go ahead and cruise on over to the other side. Okay, so again we're going to put one nail right here in the center of our cross. And then we want to set our hook directly on top. And then go ahead and get that started. Let's see. So tape measure. Hit another stud. What do you know? This never happens unless I'm shooting videos. So we don't want it all the way in, so I can go ahead and get my tape out from behind there. Right. Yeah. So now we can go ahead and pull this down. We'll go ahead and leave our center one to see how good we did.
Swish.
Nothing but net. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this little area up here. And we're going to go ahead and hang this. Alright. So you get that side. So you set your side up on the hook first. You good? Yeah. All right. There's that. Okay. Here you are, cameraman. So now if you go ahead and look here, we have a nicely hung mirror. You can see we're just about, right on that line. I'm just a little bit off. If you go to the face of it, then it's probably perfect. Let's grab this. There we go, perfect. 2.5 inches off. Just what we wanted. And now we can go ahead and put this underneath it and see that we are right in the bubble. All right, so there we have it, folks. Jacob Kurtenbach with Demand Services. Hopefully this helped you on educating you how to hang pictures or mirrors or anything with 2 hooks. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know and I'm happy to answer them. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Everybody, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes I am, yes I am, yes I am.